guys. Welcome back to another episode of Tales of Olympus. I'm Ariel, and last time we talked about how Zeus freed his siblings from their father's stomach. Cronus' stomach, anyways. And how he was being a fake cupbearer and everything. But today, the earth itself will tremble. The skies will break open, and the gods will rise. Because today we begin the great war of the Titans and the gods, the Titanomachy, or rather, just the Titan War. So, before we start today's episode, we have a special guest, my mom. Her name is Sheen, and she will be playing Demeter. Yes, Demeter. Okay, so let's begin. Long ago, Zeus stood tall on Mount Olympus, watching the world below. He had freed his siblings, Hades, Poseidon, Hera, Demeter, and Hestia, from the stomach of their cruel father, Cronus. But Zeus knew freedom wasn't enough. If we do not fight, the Titans will crush us once again. The young gods needed an army. Deep beneath the world, in the prison pit, Tartarus, there were powerful allies forgotten by time. The Cyclopes and the 100-handed ones, Hecatonkires. They were creatures so strong, Cronus has locked them away out of fear. Zeus made a choice. He would trust the outcast. He would trust the ones Cronus didn't trust. He would trust the ones that Cronus feared. He would trust the ones that Cronus betrayed. "Why should we fight for you, young Zeus?" the Cyclops said. "Because I will not be like Cronus. Fight with me, and I will give you freedom. Together, we will build a world without fear." And for the first time in centuries, the Cyclopes and the 100-handed ones were free. In gratitude, they forged weapons that would change destiny. To Zeus they gave the thunderbolt, pure lightning forged from the heart of the storm. And to Poseidon, the trident, which could shake the seas and tear mountains apart. And to Hades, the helmet of invisibility, allowing him to walk unseen through shadows. The gods were ready, and the world held its breath, and the battle began. On Mount Olympus, Cronus gathered his brothers and sisters. Mighty Atlas, fiery Hyperion, silver-faced Selene, and bold Iapetus, and many more. "The young will remember their place. We are eternal. We are Titans." Across the sky, Zeus called his army to him. The gods stood gleaming in golden armor. The Cyclopes roared. The 100-handed ones raised their fists, ready to throw mountains into the sky. And the earth itself shook with a power gathering on both sides. This was not a battle of men. This was a battle of immortals, of giants, titans, and gods. Wait, no giants were here. Sorry, delete that mistake. Anyways, the Titanomachy had officially begun. The Titans struck first. Hyperion sent blazing suns crashing down upon the gods. Oceanus unleashed floods that swallowed valleys whole. Atlas roared and hurled weapons, mountains, or anything to think of. Anyways, the world nearly broke. But Zeus, with his thunderbolt, hurled lightning back to the Titans. Poseidon raised tidal waves to block Oceanus. Hades, invisible, crept behind the Titans and struck at their ankles and armor. "We will never bow again," Hera said angrily.
"The earth itself is with us,"
Demeter said fiercely. "The fire of home will never die," Hestia said calmly. And day after day, night after night, the battle raged on. Rivers changed course. Mountains shattered. Even the stars seemed to hide, which would be very weird. And so like that, 10 long years passed. The gods grew weary. The Titans, too, grew desperate. The earth groaned under the weight of endless war. It seemed no one would win. But in the deepest moment of despair, Gaia, the Mother Earth, whispered once again to Zeus, "Use the 100-handed ones. Let them rain down mountains and stones and end this madness." And so Zeus, the next day, he commanded the 100-handed ones to unleash their fury. And hundreds of massive stones rained from the heavens, hurled by 100 arms at once. The Titans roared and tried to shield themselves, but even they could not withstand the storm. And just like that, most of the Titans fell, except one, Cronus. He rose to fight. "You dare defy your creator?" But Zeus was ready, not with brute strength alone, but with strategy, with patience, and with timing. At the perfect moment when Cronus lifted his weapon to strike, Zeus hurled his mightiest thunderbolt, not at Cronus, but at the earth beneath his feet. Cronus stumbled, and the 100-handed ones, roaring with power, buried him under an avalanche of stones. And Cronus was defeated, not by raw strength, but by cleverness, teamwork, and the will of a new generation. The remaining Titans, seeing their leader fall, fell in terror. But there was no escape. One by one, they were captured, and most of them were thrown into the Tartarus, bound in chains forever, and some of them were given special punishments. We'll talk about their punishments in future episodes. Anyways, the war was over. Olympus had won, and the new world began. But even after victory, the gods faced one final question. Who would rule what? There were 3 brothers, Zeus, Poseidon, and Hades, and so they agreed, "They will not fight among ourselves. Let the fates decide." They each drew lots, small magical stones, each carved with the name of the realm. No one would choose by greed. No one would steal by force. The choice would be left to destiny. First, Zeus drew his lot. The sky. He would rule the heavens, the clouds, the storms, and the mighty Mount Olympus itself. Next, Poseidon drew his lot. The sea. He would command the oceans, the waves, and all creatures beneath the surface. Finally, Hades drew the last stone, the underworld. He would reign over the realm of the dead, guarding the souls and the ancient treasures hidden beneath the earth. And so the world was divided. not with anger, but with respect. Zeus ruled the skies, Poseidon ruled the seas, Hades ruled the underworld. Each brother took their place, each kingdom was born, and the balance of the world was set. And even though the real journey was just beginning, the world was divided, the thrones were taken, balance has been restored. But the gods were not finished. They gathered atop the highest peak in the world, a mountain so tall its peak touched the stars, and there they built their shining home, Mount Olympus. The gods built halls of marbles and gold. Zeus's throne of thunder stood tallest among them all. Poseidon's seat shimmered with coral and pearls. Hades, though ruling the underworld, still visited Olympus when summoned, or when special occasions like the winter solstice. He was dark and shadowy, but still they were respected. And one by one, the other gods took their places. Hera, the queen of marriage, proud and wise. Demeter, the bringer of harvests and green fields. Hestia, guardian of the sacred hearth fire. The age of the Olympians had truly begun. The earth grew calm, the skies cleared, the seas sparkled. And for the first time since the beginning of time, there was peace. In Mount Olympus, golden halls gleamed in the sunlight. Thrones were raised for each of the gods. Zeus, Poseidon, Hera, Demeter, Hades, Hestia all took their places as rulers of the new world. The age of the Olympians had officially begun. But new gods are still waiting to be born. You see, there was 12 Olympians, but we only have 6, and deleting Hades. Sorry, Lord Hades, I didn't mean it. Because you rule the underworld, and so you don't have a throne. Yeah. Anyways, so how did these other Olympians came to be? New adventures are just around the corner, because every ending is just the beginning of a new story. Thank you for listening to Tales of Olympus. Next time we'll meet the next generations of gods, heroes and legends like you've never seen before. And we finished the Origin series. So, we will continue on with the birth of each Olympian, each minor god, and, maybe not minor gods first. We'll just do the Olympian stuff, and we will even make stories about the famous adventures like Jason and the Quest for the Golden Fleece, and Odyssey, and the Trojan War. Anyways, many is to come in the future. Don't forget to follow, comment, and join me as we explore the world of myths even further. See you next time, Mythlings. Oh, right. Also, I wanted to say something to all of you. The truth is, I won't update every day, every 3 days, but I'll make sure at least I'll just update every once a week. So for people that thinks the new podcast, and some of them, no offense to the new podcasters, but some of them might not upload. It might just after two or three episodes, the end. But this podcast is not the same. We are ready to make lots and lots of new adventures with you. So please, don't forget us. And just since we are finishing, I might as well say we will talk about Percy Jackson. So, yay! And of course, I mean no offense to the new podcasters about what I said earlier, and just to new podcasters, just keep going. Go for it. I was just, telling everyone that our podcast will keep updating the way of saying that. So, bye.